one calling the shots. Guess who be running the show? Fuck with me though, making me feel like the bad guy.
Man, I can say it feels really good to have all brand new hardware. Everything is set up with total stroke height. The crooked anti-roll bar is pretty much all reset, and I'll show you guys in a minute what I mean. And yeah, we'll just overview the whole fuel system, and tonight I'll be trying to make a cover to combat this crazy mess of what I think is a very low profile fuel system. So take a look at this perspective. There. All right, now this whole thing is actually flat. So this is all very flat, allowing the axle to take a bunch of upstroke. We're talking, if I had a 8-inch travel rear suspension and I ran 50-50 ratio of compression versus rebound from the center line, I would have room from this and from the front third member to go up all the way into this without having clearance issues. The fuel system is tucked very tightly. And revisions from the last time are these radium one-way check valves, which apparently the vibrant ones have a leaky valve issue. And so now I'm going to be using my original fuel pressure, F750 from Jet Dynamics. The filter here used to mount up over here, and I moved it due to exhaust temperature, right? Because our exhaust goes over here, does a crazy thing over, and then it goes down over to the front of the car this way. So that's all moved. And so now I'm going to make a heat shield from here, covering this line over to here. And then ideally a scatter shield that goes across the entire thing and keeps a tight clearance on everything for rock, debris, anything you can imagine. And something to the effect of being a quick disconnect system, ideally, so it's not all bolted. And yeah, making it protect this. For now, though, I need to keep it exposed for checking any fuel leaks when we go to test the system. But yeah, all brand new M8 hardware, the whole thing. This was supposed to be cut off. This excess shouldn't even be here. So inlinks are all now set to where they're supposed to be, with the angle they're supposed to be. Fully drooped out. That's pretty much max travel for that link. So when I set it to ride height, this bar should be flat. And if it is not flat, then I need to alter this length. And these are equalized with 0 preload. So you'll be able to see that moves with ease. 0 preload. And yeah, we're just going to go through, and I guess you guys can kind of see what I did with the flexible sensor. Hard line, cleaned all that up. And then the T56 Magnum now has the starter. This wash starter is now clearanced there, so I'm just gonna shave the rest of that later this week. So, and then I'll probably do another cover for these hard lines, just because I'm trying to think of like long term. So when you've got rocks coming up at 120, 150 miles an hour, whatever you're going on these cross country rally type things, you can easily, I wouldn't say puncture, but you can definitely scratch up and damage the undercarriage of your car. So adding, even if it's just like a fire sleeve, some other extra layer will probably be very helpful. Let's see. yeah, that's about it for now. So pre-filter, dual fuel lab, what are they, 48403s, F750 final filter, which is still accessible with pressure differential sensor and ease of access for replacing this filter. And then that drops down to our lines. So, yep, try to keep it as easy to maintain as possible. Of course, this large filter is going to be a bit of a mess to go change out. But there's really nothing else I could do to keep things as far up as possible into the system. So overall, pretty happy. Getting back to compression rebound settings to have the suspension stroke to be resting at 40% compressed at the resting point. And so it's going to have that travel in storage. So that's the plan for now. Just going through nut and bolting the whole thing. So I've got the new inside here. There's a 5 1/4 inch long bolt. And that's got its new M8 hardware, just like I'm changing out with here. And we've got the differential out at Weird Performance. So it smells terrible here, but rear diff is out. And so I'm glad he actually was able to look at this, because in his perspective, he showed me, he said, well, did you have to do anything for your axles? And I'm like, I have no idea. So let's take a look. And, you know, the axles are full length splined. And what he had showed me is the center line of the differential was offset and shifted over, because I had a Mark III Supra limited slip differential. And so on the ring and pinion, like on the big ring and pinion, you can space in a spacer there to end up locating our axles in equal distances when they go inside and get stuck into the LSD. And what had been configured, and it's nothing against him, because I'm not sure if he understood this or knew this, but one set of the adjusters on the outside was fully out and one was fully in. So that means that the spline axle would be over into one side and barely penetrating the other. So that's taken care of. We've got a shim kit there. We've got the new OS Geiken 1.5 way LSD dropping in. We're still going to keep the 456 valve drive ratio because of the tire size increase and the T56 Magnum. So I think overall it's going to work out pretty well for balancing. I'm looking at, torque and drivability and, how to make these gears as useful as possible without being like just stupid long. So cruising should be right around 3,200 RPM and 80 miles an hour. So I don't see a reason to go longer than that. So plenty of gearing. And if we find we need more, changing out a gear set is much easier than you might think on these. So we could always send that back out and do that way. But there we go. Little update for tonight, and I'm gonna get back to work. Time for some cardboard aided design.
I know I'm calling the shots. Guess who'll be running the show? Fuck with me though, making me feel like the bad guy.